top5rapwebsite.com. You already know what's going on. Vinyl of the week number 22. Today we got something very special. The Last Poets at Last. So if you remember my record store day video a couple months ago, you'll remember me flipping through vinyls. I'll pick it up. Wow. I ended up picking Snoop Dogg and Dame Funk, 7 Days of Funk, and also Marvin Gaye, Dream of a Lifetime. But if you watch the video, I'm flipping through the vinyls and I see this one. But I skip over it. So I eventually went back to the store the same day and picked this up. They're one of the foundation groups of hip hop. And when you talk about groups like the Watts Prophets, like Sugar Hill Gang, groups that really built the basis of hip hop, The Last Poets is definitely one of them. They get their name from a poem by Earl Sweatshirt's dad, actually. So those of you who know about Earl Sweatshirt, you know he was a famous African poet, South African poet, and he used the phrase "the last poets" in a poem, and the Last Poets came years later, and they drew inspiration from that name. So some Earl Sweatshirt trivia for you there. As far as this album, as you can tell just by the cover, Muslim, almost militant type feel with all the black, the big forceful aggressive text. It's kind of what you get on the album. I compare it to the Watts Prophets, Rapping Black in a White World, which I also did a vinyl of the week on. Spoken word, and you can really hear the hip hop in here. Songs like, and I still have the plastic on, I won't remove it because it's hard to put back on. Songs like The Courtroom, which is by Suleiman El Hadi, and you can see the members of the group, they break down the different songs that they had. Songs like The Courtroom, like that's a straight up rap song.
Stand at the bar, and ones and twos and threes. All right, DA, read out the charges, please.
And it's also one of my favorite songs on here. When I look at, the songs that Suleiman did, all of these are some of my favorite songs. In Search of Knowledge, that's a very wise song. Picture of Blue, very jazz inspired. A lot of this production is very jazz inspired, jazz lounge inspired. Uncle Sam's Lament, really dope song. And at the end of it, they have a prayer that they do at the end, and it just feels so passionate. You really believe every word they're saying.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. America is trying to save its own ass niggas. You had better save yours.
And they're really going through a different type of oppression, similar oppression, same strand of oppression that we face today. So a lot of their themes and content is still relevant, but you could just feel the anger coming through this LP. But this is one of those records that is very hard to find. Only $14.99. This is a steal. You may be watching this in 2030, like $14.99 for a vinyl. What? This is a steal. So let's take a look at the vinyl. And we can see here, fingerprint there. I didn't do that, that's not my fingerprint. 1973, so hip hop again, it goes way back. Produced by The Last Poets. And you can see the musicians. It's just these three guys, man. And you can also see some more contributors there. And side 2. Now again, I like all these songs. This album is very wise. It feels very wise. They're spitting a lot of knowledge, and there's also a good amount of stories. So songs like Death Row, it's a storytelling type song. Jalal, he takes the role of a prisoner who's on death row, so he's talking about his last moments and the things he's seeing around him. It's just a different type of album, to hear content-wise, because they're speaking about things that affect them directly in the 60s, 70s. So it's very interesting to see which themes are the same for us here in 2020. And it's also different to kind of see how things are different. You don't really hear rappers talking about death row or justice for death row inmates, but that's something that The Last Poets are trying to make you empathize with. So yeah, that's The Last Poet at Last, and that is Vinyl of the Week number 22, top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.